Hello, how do you do? My name is Godwin. Welcome to MOG Economics. Today we shall be talking about change in quantity demanded and change in demand. These are two concepts in economics that confuses a lot of students and that confuse a lot of students. Our lesson outcomes for today include knowing what demand is. Okay, so knowing the law of demand, factors affecting demand, and of course using graphs to explain change in quantity demanded and change in demand. Now, what is demand? Demand is simply the amount of goods and services that the consumer is willing to buy at a given price and at a particular time. It's as simple as that. Now, the law of demand states that an increase in the price of a commodity, other things being equal, is going to lead to a reduction in the quantity demanded of that commodity. Let me state it again. And the law of demand states that an increase in the price of a commodity is going to lead to a decrease in the quantity demanded of that commodity and vice versa, which simply means the other way around. Other things being equal. That is very important. Other things being equal. All right. There are factors affecting demand, which include the price of the commodity itself, the price of a related good, income of the consumer, and the consumer taste. Okay, so for example, let's assume that you as an individual, you are an economics lover, so you love to buy economics textbooks. Now, the price of an economics textbook that you like rose from 1,000 to 3,000. Okay, when it was 1,000, you were purchasing 10 of it. Now that it is 3,000, do you think you purchase more or less, other things being equal? I think you are going to purchase less now because the price has risen, which is simply what the law of demand is saying, that an increase in price is going to reduce the quantity demanded of a commodity, other things being equal. Now let's go straight to change in quantity demanded and change in demand. I want you to understand the fact that change in the quantity demanded of a commodity is caused by the price of that commodity. Just like the example I just stated now, and I'm going to use a graph to represent that. So we have this quantity, this is 0, and this is our price. Okay, so this is demand. Okay, let me name it change. Okay, make it big. Change in quantity demanded. Change in quantity demanded. Okay, so of books or of an economic textbook. Alright, so when the price was 1,000, okay, you purchased 10. Now that the price has risen to 3,000, other things being equal, you are likely to purchase less than 10. So this is what we have, an increment in price leading to a reduction in the quantity demanded. Then we have this. So this is demand curve, which is downward sloping. Now we have this as point B, and this is point A, because we have a movement from A to B. Now this is how to depict change in quantity demanded. And how do we get to know? We see that along the old demand curve, there is a movement. We move from point A to point B. So whenever we are having a movement along the demand curve, whether upwards, like in this case A to B, or whether downwards B to A, that is when the price of the commodity falls, we are talking about change in quantity demanded. Now, what is the difference? What is change in demand? Change in demand is really means a shift of the demand curve, whether outwards or inward. Now, I want you people to realize that a shift of a curve on a particular graph is not caused by any of the variable inside the graph. Okay, it is caused by another variable, an external variable that has an influence on what is happening on the graph. Okay, let us recall that I mentioned that there are other factors of demand, okay, which include the income of the consumer, the taste, and the price of another good. Now let us depict what happens on our graph, okay, with a change in income of the consumer, So we have this. This is Q. This is Q. So this is our origin 0, and this is P. So at the price of 1,000, our buyer was buying 10 books. Okay, so we want to depict a change in demand for books. Okay, now let's assume that at this particular price, the income of our consumer happens to be 30,000 naira per month, 30,000 naira per month, and our buyer likes books. Our buyer likes books. Now let us now assume that the income of our buyer rises from 30,000 naira to 50,000 naira. Maybe because our buyer got a job or something like that, a better job, or something made the income to rise from 30 to 50,000 naira. Now, assuming that books are normal goods, other things being equal, do you think our buyer now is going to buy more of books or less of books when his or her income has increased? So we are talking about our consumer being richer now. So your guess is as good as mine. Our consumer is going to buy more of books because he or she now has more money to buy more books. Alright, so we depict that on this graph, and we are going to see a little difference on this graph compared to what we have here. Now, so income rises, but there is no income on this axis. This is price of the commodity, and this is quantity demanded of the commodity. Well, now income has risen, and our consumer is now demanding for 15 books when the price has risen, when his income has risen to 50,000 naira. So what do? We just extend this. So our consumer is now on this point, which is 15. So we trace this to the initial price because the price did not change. It was the income that changed, and income is not on this graph, but then we can depict the change in quantity. Alright, so this is our new point B, and we move from this initial point A. So drawing a demand curve here. So this is our initial demand curve, which we call D naught, and then we just moved to this new curve, which we call D1. Okay, so an increase in the income of the consumer has caused an outward shift of the demand curve, which you simply call a positive change in demand. So this is a positive change in demand because this is a positive effect. Our consumer is going from less to having more. Now let's depict what happens when there is a fall in income. When there is a fall in income, so from the initial income, maybe 50,000 naira back to 30,000 naira. So what happens? The quantity demanded of the books is going to fall from 15 to 10. 15 to 10 are just random examples. From 15 to 10. So this is what we have the other way around. So when there is a factor which is outside a particular graph and is having a significant effect on what's happening on the graph, there is usually a shift of the curve. There's usually a shift of the curve, or curves as the case may be. So in our case, we have income affecting demand. So this is what we call change in demand. So don't mistake these two terms again. Change in demand results from a shift of the demand curve, and the shift of the demand curve results from an external variable, like an exogenous variable. We call it exogenous variable more technically. Okay, an exogenous variable which is not inside this graph, it is elsewhere. So, and summarizing what we have here, a change in quantity demanded results from the change in price of the same commodity, and that causes a movement along the same curve, the same demand curve, a movement along the same demand curve. So that's it. I hope you don't mistake this when you're reading your economics textbook again, or when you have text and exams to write. Alright, thanks for watching. Please leave your questions in the comment box, and subscribe to the channel for more updates. Thank you very much. See you next time.